God says, I'm going to reassure you as you're walking in it. All right. So verse 13, when Moses said, indeed, when I come to the children of Israel and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they say to me, what is his name? What shall I say to them? Names were important to these people. The Egyptians specifically had a whole host of gods. So when Moses went back, he's like, wait a minute, they know, they believe that Pharaoh is a god. Who is this God that over whose word is going to supersede Pharaoh, that Pharaoh is going to listen to him? And I love God's response. And God said to Moses in verse 14, I am who I am. And he said, thus you shall say to the children of Israel, I am has sent me to you. I am. And we're really going to get into this thing. And Jesus talks about himself, that he is the I am. And even before Abraham was, I am. And so, it's really starting to ramp up now. And it makes me just think of, who Jesus was when he walked the earth, and how God was beginning to reveal himself to Moses. And as we get a little bit further in this quick study, I'm going to show you here that God is about to manifest himself in the world in a way that he hadn't done yet. And we, today as Christians, we have access to that same God, that same power, that same manifestation of the Spirit. God is trying to show us, who are willing to hear his word and heed his instructions daily. He's trying to show us who he is. So he says, who are you? God says, I am that I am. I am the ever-present one. I am the King of Kings. I am the Lord of Lords. I am the counselor. I am your healer. I am the good shepherd. I am the Alpha and the Omega. I am everything that you need right here, right now, no matter what the circumstances. I am your provider. I am the Lord of hosts. I'm the one that will lead you into battle. I am Jehovah Nisi. I am the one who will show the armies which way to go. I am the one who will cover you in the time of need. When the enemy comes in like a flood, he's the one who will raise up a standard against him so that they will not overcome you. God says, I am who I am. How many of you are out here in a circumstance right now where you're feeling like you're just going through the motions? You're just in this mundane existence where God has called you to something more, but it's just not happening for you right now. And you're just feeling like God wants you to do something. I am is here to tell you today, this very day today, that he is here. He is in your midst. But Moses still has issues. If we drop down to chapter 4, verse 1, then Moses answered and said, but suppose they will not believe me or listen to my voice. Suppose they say, the Lord has not appeared to you. How many times have you felt God moving you to do something, and then you start questioning in your mind, man, what are people going to say? What if they don't believe that God really called me to do that? Man, we got ministers, men, women, young youth out here. They're feeling the tug of God on their lives, but they aren't mobilizing. They aren't moving forward because they're worried about what people are going to say. Once again, Moses is worried about himself. Are you worried about yourself? But I love God's response, because he says, oh, when I get done showing them what I'm going to show them, they will know that I sent you. And this is brilliant what God does. It says, so in verse 2, he says, so the Lord said to him, what is that in your hand? And this is the part of the scriptures that really, it got me. It got me. What is that in your hand? And Moses said, a rod. What is it that you have in your hand? What is it that you use to support yourself? What is it that you use in this world to provide for your family? What skill set do you have? You got to think about this thing. This staff that Moses had, it was very important for a shepherd. He used it to protect himself from wild beasts. He used it to climb through mountainous regions. He used it to guide the sheep. And some shepherds during the time, they used to etch different parts of different significant events that they had during their lives in order to it to serve as a chronicle to him. It was an extension of who he is. What is it in your life right now that you consider an extension of yourself? What is it that you use to provide for your family? What is it that you use as a crutch to lean on? God says, what is that in your hand? And Moses says, it's a rod. It's a rod. And he said, cast it on the ground. So he cast it on the ground and it became a serpent. And most of us know the story. He cast the rod on the ground. It becomes a serpent. And God says, pick it up by the tail. Moses picks it up and it turns back into a rod. All right. God says, when you go back and you tell them that I am sent you, use this rod. Throw it on the ground just like you did, and it's going to turn into a serpent. You're going to pick it up, and they're going to see that I have given you power over this rod. God has given you power over that gift that you have. God has given you power over that voice that you have. God has given you power over the financial resources that he's given you. God has given you power over the mental capacity that you have. God has given you power on your ability to relate to other individuals and to empathize with their circumstances. God has given you power to deliver the word to the people that need to hear it. God has given you power to carry out those mathematical functions. God has given you power through this thing, but are you using it for his glory? God says, this thing that I've given you is not for you, it's for me.